Hey there guys, welcome back to the channel. Before the video starts, I just want to know what you guys are thinking of these videos so far, how you're liking them, how you're hating them, whether or not you do like them. Yeah, so just give this video a like if you do like it, and if you don't like the content that I'm pushing out right now, then yeah, give it a dislike. That does help. Yeah, it lets me know how many people are liking the content, and if you guys think that something else would be a better alternative, then let me know in the comments down below. Anyways, yeah guys, I'm not going to hold you any further. Let's get right into the video. Alright guys, today we'll be looking at the movie Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Alright, so for those of you who haven't actually seen the movie or heard about it, here's a quick non-spoiler recap. So in this movie, instead of having the regular Peter Parker Spider-Man, we follow the Miles Morales Spider-Man, who has similar powers but not really. You'll see in the film. Also, on top of that, the Kingpin has opened a portal, this is not a spoiler, to another dimension, to multiple dimensions, where other Spider-Man from each universe comes and interacts with our Miles Morales Spider-Man. And we do get to see the Peter Parker Spider-Man in this movie twice, actually. I'm not going to spoil when and where, but we do get to see two Peter Parkers, and we do get to see other versions of the Spider-Man persona. Alright guys, you guys know how this goes. We gotta start with the good stuff. So I think the best place to start would be the animation style. Because going into this movie, I had very low confidence in that style. The trailers did not appeal to me personally. And when I watched this movie for the first 20 or so minutes, it felt like it was just a gimmick. Like it was just one of those thoughts that popped in somebody's mind and they just did it. No real reason. But it does have a reason. And I'm not going to tell you the reason now, but all I have to say is dimensions. Just dimensions. Go into this movie and think about that word, and you'd realize how this animation style adds to the movie. It's not unique. It's been done before multiple times, but what makes it special in this case is that it fit with the overall context of the movie. It wasn't just a gimmick. You know, somebody just thought that would be cool and did it. No, it did definitely fit into this movie. Now, the next best thing about the film is the actual characters and the character arcs in the movie. And going into this film, my biggest concern was that they turned Peter Parker into a bumbling buffoon who was only there to make us impressed by Miles Morales, to only boost up Miles Morales' character, and they would just throw him to the wayside, which did not happen. Yeah, in the trailers it does look like he's a drunk and he's, you know, a bumbling buffoon, but in the movie you can tell that this guy has been doing what he's been doing for a very long time. He's great at what he does, and what the film actually does is give him this sort of redemption arc where he essentially, Miles Morales motivates him to become the Spider-Man that he used to be. There's some funny moments, some funny gags where, you know, he can't fit into his actual spider suit, so he has to put on some sweatpants and all that kind of stuff. But besides that, it's actually a very interesting position they leave him in, where he doesn't really want to be Spider-Man, but he kind of has to. And so we've never had that kind of Peter Parker in any of the movies. I mean, we did kind of have that similar kind of arc with Spider-Man 2, but it's very different, you know? So yeah, again, the character arcs are all very great. My favorite one was the introduction to Spider-Gwen, who is another Spider-Man persona from another universe. And her arc with Miles Morales and all that, can't talk about it in the non-spoiler review. I'm not sure if I'm gonna have a spoiler review about it, but if I do, then I'll talk about it there. But besides that, all the character arcs, perfect. Finally, the pacing in this movie is simply masterful. I mean, it's got cadence to it, and you know, when people think of the word pacing, they get this misconception to where it's either too slow or too fast. It doesn't have to be fast or slow. Pacing just means that whatever pace the film has, it's either consistent or it's done well. Whether the film is slow, whether it's kind of it's got this mid pace where it's kind of in between, or it's fast paced. It sticks to it and it does it well. An example of this would be Logan. Logan is a very slow paced film, but it sticks to that pace and it does it well. Another example would be There Will Be Blood. There Will Be Blood is not slow paced or fast paced, it's kind of in the middle of that, and it sticks to that pace, and it's great at what it does. Lastly, another example of pacing would be the Lego Batman movie, which is a very fast, hyper-paced film, and it sticks to that, and it works. In this film, what it does with pacing is it completely breaks the mold, where it doesn't have one pace to it. It has multiple paces, and most films do have multiple paces, but it does it right. It opens up with a very slow-paced opening and then kind of moves on to kind of fast-paced first to second act, and then instantly goes to a slow-paced end of second act and to a faster-paced third act. And I've never felt more entertained and connected to a film in my life. I've seen a bunch of films in Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse uses its pacing to pull the audience in, where if it's going too slow at some points, it will just hinder back and just pull back the pacing and just move it a little bit faster. And if it's going too fast, just pull it back, be a little bit slower. And I'd be damned if this isn't used as an example in film classes as to how to do pacing correctly, because slow pacing doesn't necessarily mean bad pacing, or fast pacing doesn't necessarily mean dumb pacing. You know, a good blend of both could really work, you know, and this film just is an example of that. And I'm sure people will be studying this for years to come, and I really hope they do, because the pacing was just terrific. Alright guys, so I think it's time for us to get straight into the negative side of this review and look at everything this movie did wrong. Nothing, it was actually perfect. This film is flawless. Alright guys, out of the subjective scale, this movie is an art house experience.
Looking at hip hop, trying to find my placement. I bought my first pair of Jordans at 22. Same year I bought a crib too. Now my face in magazines I used to flip through, and my music on all the sites I used to sift through. Remember meeting Nas for the first time. Shook his hand and he started quoting my lines.